Batting third, the third baseman, number 8, Eric Rigby. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 13, Cade Elliott. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 12, Hunter Adams. Batting sixth, the DH, number 18, Logan Rivers. The DH for number 5, the left fielder, Ethan Harris. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 14, Zach Taylor. Batting eighth will be the catcher, number 3, Ben Allen. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 6, Robbie Soren. The Trailblazers are coached by Rob Hoover. And now for your Cherokee Chiefs. Leading off and playing center field, number 1, Steve Owen. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 12, Ethan Crowder. Batting third, the pitcher, number 9, Nick Collins. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, number 6, David Scherzinger. Batting fifth will be the DH, number 11, Tucker Owen. The DH for the right fielder, number 4, Carter Morlock. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 25, Ethan Bledsoe. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 19, Connor Burke. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 10, Jesse Doherty. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 7, Dylan Johnson. The Chiefs are coached by Matt Carter. And now please rise, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, remove your caps. For the playing of our national anthem, please direct your gaze to the left center field wall.
On reserve today for Cherokee is the sophomore Ryan Morgan, the freshman Lane Elton, senior Bronson Shipley, the freshman Moby Allen, and junior Hayden Long. Chiefs are head coach Matt Carter, who is in his fifth season. His teams have 54 wins in his career as the head coach of Cherokee. His assistants are Ryan Tassel, Jay Jones, and the student assistant. As we joke to the dugout before I got the lineup, the brain trust of the whole operation. That, of course, is the one and only J.T. Brooks. We're going to take a quick 30-second break here, a 1-minute break, and then be back with the first pitch. After this on the Radio Voice of the Chiefs.
Here.
Okay, so one of these afternoons, Calvin, I'm going to have to hang up and call you back. It's echoing.
All right.
All right, be right back.
with your RTG.
Okay, bud, we can just go the entire break night and just go from there.
Yes, sir, brother.
Thanks, Calvin. I know it's an adventure here.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, bud.
For information about any of our services, you may visit us at christiansales.com or call 272-0555.
The new Promise Medical Group at 312 Armstrong Street in Rogersville offers board-certified pediatric care, a community-based multidisciplinary care team, extended hours, flexible scheduling, and same-day appointments.
Very cloudy sky with breezy conditions. Temperature here at Cherokee is a pleasant 67 degrees. Nick Collins is on the hill, and we now say spears up, Big Red Nation. We hope you enjoy the ride. Stepping to the plate is Brody Goodman. First pitch swung on a miss for strike one. The lanky right-hander and the staff ace, Nick Collins, issues now the 0-1 fastball inside corner, and it will be called ball one as he just missed that corner. It was just below the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brody Goodman. It's been a phenomenal start for this talented right-hander. Still just a junior, that being Nick Collins. The 1-1 swung on a miss for strike two. He sliced him with a fastball at the knees and a over-the-top swing there by Goodman. Nick on the season 2-0 with the record, has only given up 7 hits in 12 innings, only given up 1 earned run, has struck out a remarkable 21 and only walked 2. As the 1-2 is swung on and fouled off to the left, off the netted fence down the third base side, it's still 1-2 to Goodman. His ERA coming into this ball game 0.58. His 2 victories certainly worthwhile as well, defeating both Dobbins-Bennett and Greenville. Count 1-2 to Brody Goodman. 1-2 from Nick Collins. He'll change it up here with his first changeup, and this one is fouled straight back as Goodman out there just battling away here in the early going against Nick Collins. It's what you want to do. Try to up that pitch count with the pitch count rule, saying a pitcher can only pitch 120 max and must come out under the TSSAA pitch count rules. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. He just again sliced him low with that slicing fastball coming in inside corner knees. He's a very hard thrower, that being Collins, and when you can locate like that, what do you do if you're the batter? Collins already off to ace stuff in this ball game with a strikeout of Goodman. 1 down here in the first inning. Up to the plate now is Matt Cox. It's Cox who got the victory over Cherokee on the hill, and he'll take a changeup for a strike as Nix will throw that extremely hard fastball located everywhere. Then suddenly you also have to be on the lookout for the changeup. That's something I think he's really added this year, and he has become devastating. But the next pitch is another changeup, and this one will break up high and go off the top of the back of the second baseman, Matt Cox. First base runner of this game is he, as he is hit by the pitch. So Cox is on at first, 1 down in the top half of the first inning. Here's the third place hitter and third baseman batting from the right side, Eric Rigsby. Lead at first for Cox, about 4 to 5 steps. He's being held over there by Ethan Bledsoe. Collins will come from the stretch, not make the first pitch. He'll throw over 2 first, chase back Brody Goodman, who's in safely. Defensive alignment for Cherokee, Ethan Bledsoe at first, Jesse Forgety at second, Connor Burke at third, Ethan Crowder in short, J.P.F. Kurtzinger in left, in center Steve Owen, in right Carter Morlock, behind the plate Dylan Johnson. First pitch will be low to Eric Rigsby. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. He was 2 for 3 in the victory over Cherokee on Monday, March 19th. He's got a 1-0 count. Big lead again for Matt Cox, who's off of first base, and Collins will chase him back. He's back in standing on the throw over. Still awaiting the 1-0 pitch to Rigsby. We saw a lot of this guy in basketball when Cherokee played Daniel Boone 3 different times, including the District 1 AAA tournament. He was one of the top basketball players in the conference at guard. The next pitch is a very hard fastball to the outside and just missing that corner. It is 2-0 to Eric Rigsby. He's got the hitter's count. 2-0 is the count. Here is Nick Collins checking with Dylan Johnson from the stretch. And here comes the 2-0. It is swung on, grounded between third and short, cutting it off deep in the shortstop hole on the backhand is Ethan Crowder. He's going to have to put it in the pocket. Just making the contact and putting that ball right where they pretty much couldn't get it, deep to the shortstop hole. Nice stop by Crowder, but no chance at all to get Rigsby. He'll have the first hit of this ball game on an infield single. So first and second now for Daniel Boone here in the early going. To the plate is the left-handed hitting cleanup hitter, Cade Elliott, very, very tall right fielder. Lead is there for both parties. Cherokee will play back for the double play. And here is Nick Collins, his first pitch to Cade Elliott as he looks at second twice. The first pitch, fastball low, just again missing here in the early going after he got off to the great start against Goodman with the strikeout. Low pitches just missing the strike zone here to the latter two. Elliott with the count now 1-0. We'll get the next pitch. This fastball's right in there as he just put it up letter high for a strike in the middle. Count 1-1. You really like how the movement of these fastballs. He's a primary fastball guy, but it's just the array of spots that he puts it at and just how that ball moves in with a slicing type action. The next pitch will be called a strike as he worked him away just above the waist for strike two. And quickly now it is 1-2 to Cade Elliott. Cox is on at second. Rigsby is on at first. And we are now set for the 1-2 from Nick Collins to Cade Elliott. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and fouled off to the left, down the left field line and out of play. Hanging in there on the fight off is Cade Elliott. And we'll try again with the 1-2 pitch. Wind slightly blowing out in a left field. Here is Nick Collins. Getting set now to issue the 1-2 to Cade Elliott. From the stretch, the 1-2, fastball down the middle, just below the knees. As it just dipped low right as it came in, just missing the strike zone. He's just missing here in the early going with some of his low pitches. And the count is now even, 2-2 to Cade Elliott. Here's Nick Collins issuing the 2-2 pitch. The 2-2 swung on, hit off the end of the bat. It's a bouncer down the first base side. It'll go foul shortly up above the dirt. So we'll try again with another 2-2 pitch here to Cade Elliott. If nothing else here for Daniel Boone, they're working up the pitches here in the top half of the first inning. And something that's now a big part of the strategy in high school baseball, and that's work up the pitch count on the pitcher and get him out of there, especially if you're an ace like a Nick Collins. 2-2 pitch now coming. Here it is to Elliott. This will be high and outside for ball three. Count is now full. 3-2 to Cade Elliott. The starting pitcher for Daniel Boone, Hunter Adams, is waiting on deck. Getting set now for the payoff. Big one right here early. 3-2 pitch from Nick Collins to Cade Elliott. Here it is. Swung on, grounded down the first base side. scored the lone Boone run. He is 1 for 1, the right-handed hitting third baseman. Returning to the stretch with a runner on at first is Nick Collins. And here comes your first pitch. Swung on, this one's driven. Left center field is going to drop in for a base hit. Over to cut it off, Steve Owen. He'll bobble it for a moment, come back up with it. He'll throw on to second with a runner halfway up from first to second, that being Rigsby. He'll turn around and go back as the ball caught at second by Jesse Aforkity. Hanging on at third through all that is Matt Cox. And Eric Rigsby 2 for 2 in this ball game with both of the Daniel Boone hits. A solid single to a left center field. Cox, though, having to hang on at third as they had the slight bobble there by Steve, but he stayed with it and got it back in. First and third, 2 outs in the inning. Cade Elliott will try to tie this game up with that runner on at third. Elliott has grounded out and struck out. He's 0 for 2. Here comes the first pitch from Collins. This ball is swung on and driven right center field. On the run is Steve Owen. He'll make the dive. He'll grab it. Owen in the outfield. He did it again. Diving catch, right center field, catching it on his stomach on the run. He just saved a run. Steve Owen with a highlight play, and Cherokee hangs on to the lead. We'll move on to the bottom half of the fifth. It's still Cherokee 2, Daniel Boone 1 at the radio voice of the Chiefs. Okay, bud, break. Let's see. We'll go just.
Come on, let's go, 7, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. Leading off the Chiefs, third baseman, number 19, Connor Burke. Up next to Jerry, the catcher, number 7, Dylan Johnson.
Still awaiting the next pitch. The 1-0 to Dylan Johnson. Catcher Casey Vicio calls a time, and again they set the alignment with the catcher making the call. And here is Dylan Johnson with a 1-0 count. Coming in at first is Zach Taylor. Third baseman remains standard. First baseman coming in big time. Here's the pitch. It is a bunt. It'll bounce to the left, but they're going to say it went off of the hitter at Dylan Johnson. You actually had the catcher Vicio come up with the ball inside of the line in the dirt down the third base side. They're going to say it's a foul ball off the hitter. 1-1 to Dylan Johnson. Allen at second. On at first is Fogarty. We're in a 2-1 lockdown matchup in this conference game between the Chiefs and Trailblazers. Here is Dylan Johnson stepping in. He's got a 1-1 count. First baseman Zach Taylor coming in the grass. And now the third baseman on the charge. Rotation play on. Here's the pitch, and it hits him. Pitch has got him off the top of the back as he tried to work him in. Trying to swing around and get out of the way of it was Johnson as he initially had showed bunt. Pitch has got him. Bases are loaded. So you've got the bases loaded, nobody out, and you've got a lot of things to think about now because you've got one of the best bunters in this entire area. The guy can play a little center field as well. That's Steve Owen. Cherokee back to the top of the lineup with Steve. Bases loaded, nobody out. Chiefs up 2-1 as we're in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Owen is 1 for 2 in this game, a bunt single and a line out. And here is your first pitch not to be made. Adams steps off. He calls for his catcher to come out. Boone, knowing Nick Collins is out there, and we're in the latter stages of the game, the bottom of the fifth. They are bringing the entire infield in. Owens just got that great approach out there as a leadoff hitter, and you can easily see him see a pitch that he could slap over this drawn-in infield. And the first pitch will be grooved in there for ball one as he just tried to groove one inside at the letters but missed the corner. It is 1-0 to Steve Owen. To see this guy with his eye out there at the plate, being able to see a pitch that he'll slap and just get it right over the infield. And the 1-0 is swung on and hit hard down the first base side on another high pitch. They're thrown by Adams. They're throwing high pitches to make it more difficult for him to bunt. And the count is 1-1. 1-1 is your count. Allen at third, Fogarty at second, Johnson at first. Here's the 1-1. It is swung on, hit to first, gobbled by Zach Taylor. Throw to the plate is in time, getting the lead runner coming home, Bobby Allen. No throw back to first with Steve Speed, but they get rid of one of the outs with that drawn in infield. as Owen hit the hard chopper right at Taylor. Taylor to the plate, to the catcher Vicio. The put out will go 3-2. Owen reaches on the fielder's choice. He's now 1 for 3. Allen retired at the plate. Bases still loaded, one down. Here's Ethan Crowder, another great situational hitter and veteran. Here's your first pitch. Curveball high, ball 1. 1-0 to Ethan Crowder, who reached base on a 5-6 fielder's choice. He singled his second time. He scored a run in this game. He's 1-4-2, the 3-year starter. And here is your 1-0. Fastball strike at the knees as after he started him high. Good location right there, coming low to the corner. 1-1 to Ethan Crowder. Fogarty at a third. Johnson at second. Owen at first. Drawn in infield. 1-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 2. So he's got the hitter's count. This guy who followed his brother Austin and immediately began starting as a sophomore, and never see this guy not play over these last 3 years. That's the senior, Ethan Crowder. And here is your 2-1. It is swung on, hit the center field, base hit. 1 run is in. They'll hold everyone else up as in to score is Fogarty on the liner to the right of second. Into center, retrieved by Brody Goodman. Ethan Crowder gets his second hit of the ball game. He is now 2 for 3 with an RBI. In to score his first run, Jesse Fogarty. Cherokee up 3-1 as Crowder gets things louder once again here at the reservation. Moving to third, Dylan Johnson. On at second is Steve Owen. On at first is Ethan Crowder. Chiefs have a 2-run cushion now in this game, and a guy certainly looking to help himself, and we know he can. It's Nick Collins to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 down, and the drawn-in infield. And here is your first pitch from the stretch from Adams. Curveball high for ball 1, 1-0. 2-run home run over the left field wall in the first inning for Nick. He flew out to center in second. 1 for 2 with 2 RBI and 1 run scored. Here is the 1-0 pitch to Nick Collins. Swung on and hit off the inside part of the bat as Adams just staying with his big-time diet of changeups right here on another curveball there thrown. Went off the inside part of the bat and fouled right. It's 1-1 to Nick Collins. Infield stays in. Chiefs up 3-1 with 1 out. Next pitch swung on, driven, left center field, in for a base hit. 3 bounces to the center fielder Goodman. 2 runs are in. In to score Dylan Johnson. In to score Steve Owen. 2 more RBI in this game for Nick Collins on the liner left center. And the Chiefs are now up 5-1. Nick Collins with a 2-run single, giving him 4 RBI in this game. What a player this kid is. He is now 2 for 3. Dylan Johnson scores his first run. Steve Owen scores his first. Chiefs up 5-1 over Daniel Boone. Collins pitching in this ball game without an earned run upon him and is 2 for 3 with 4 RBI. Ethan Crowder stopped at second base. You have Collins on at first. Chiefs up 5-1. Wanting more with the beast. J. Peff Kurtzinger at the plate, 0 for 2. He is lined out and grounded out. First pitch, fastball low, ball 1. Boone with runners on now, first and second and 1 out, will return to regular depth and play for the double play. 1-0 to the junior left fielder, J. Peff Kurtzinger. Chiefs up 5-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. And here's your next pitch from the stretch from Hunter Adams. Curveball swung on, hit very slowly to third. Into the grass is Eric Rigsby. He'll throw out to first in time to get the out. The runners will advance to third, that being Ethan Crowder, and to second, Nick Collins. Kurtzinger will ground out 5-3 and is now 0 for 3. You've got 2 runners now in scoring position, though, as the grounder's slow enough to where there was no play at third or second. He had to go on to first to go ahead and just get the out, that being Rigsby. So you've got runners on in scoring position with 2 out, and here's Tucker Owen. First pitch, curveball strike, just above the waist to the outside. 0-1 to Tucker, who struck out his first time, but got a single his second. He is 1 for 2 against Hunter Adams. He is the 8th man to bat this inning. And here is the pitch to Tucker Owen. Pitch outside, ball 1. It's 1-1. Chiefs with 4 hits this inning, giving them 8 in the game against one tough customer and veteran pitcher in this AAA conference, that being Hunter Adams. 1-1 to the freshman designated hitter, Tucker Owen. Next pitch, another curveball that'll break outside to the knees and catch the corner for a strike. It's 1-2. Just a big night of off-speed pitches as we've gone along in this game by Adams. Chiefs, though, doing a good job at going with them. We saw Eli Dixon, a volunteer, throw a lot last night, and it's good preparation for Adams today. The 1-2 is up high with a fastball. It's 2-2 to Tucker Owen. Standing on at third is Ethan Crowder. Nick Collins standing on at second. Here's the next pitch. Pitch will break outside and low. Good stop with a runner on at third as he penning it into the dirt to the right side of the batter's box. That being Casey Vicio, the Daniel Boone catcher. The count is now full. 3-2 to Tucker Owen with Ethan Bledsoe waiting on deck. Payoff pitch coming to the freshman from the right side. Here's Adams, 3-2. Swung on, looped out into center field. Could be trouble. It is. It drops in for a base hit. Crowder is in to score around third, and coming to the plate is Collins. He'll have a collision with Casey Vicio as Goodman comes up with the ball to the plate to the catcher, and out will be Nick Collins with the collision there. Vicio held on to the ball. Tucker Owen will get himself a single and also pick himself up an RBI on that note with Crowder scoring, and it's a big inning for the Chiefs. As we go on to the sixth, it is now Cherokee 6, Daniel Boone 1 at the radio voice of the Chiefs.
5, Chiefs lead, 6-4.
No errors on Daniel Boone. Chiefs put up 5 hits in that 5th inning to get their 4 runs and now have a 6-1 cushion as we start the top half of the 6th in this conference game against Daniel Boone. Up for the Trailblazers will be the pitcher Hunter Adams, followed by Logan Rivers and Zach Taylor. It will be 5, 6, and 7 for the Trailblazers. Nick Collins looking to go 3-0 to start out his season, taking on another good team today in Daniel Boone, who's got a winning record at 6-3 coming in. And here's your first pitch. Swung on a miss for strike one. Now he can just rear back and fire and stay in that strike zone with that 5-run cushion. It was a high fastball, big swing and a miss by Adams. 0-1 is the count. Here's your 0-1 from the junior right-hander for the Chiefs, Nick Collins. The 0-1 pitch, fastball low for ball one. It is 1-1. Chiefs with 2 conference wins already this week with a sweep of Volunteer on Monday and Tuesday. Now trying to gain a split with Daniel Boone in this series. The 1-1, there's a curveball with a big-time change of speed, called a strike. He'll occasionally just mix that in, and he hit the strike zone perfectly with that one. At the knees, it's now 1-2. 1-2 to Hunter Adams. Here is Nick Collins. He'll take his time. Back step wide, 1-2, fastball outside for ball 2. It is 2-2 to Hunter Adams. This Cherokee team on fire, coming in with a 3-game winning streak and trying to go 2 games above 500 in conference play and get at 500 with the overall record. Here's your 2-2 pitch. Swung on, this ball's driven to left center field. Back goes J-Paf Kurtzinger. Slowing down though on the back up, he'll make the catch. Hard drive right there as Adams got the extension on it and just missed it. J-Paf with a soft back up there on the deep fly ball, able to make the grab, and Adams is retired on that fly out to left and is 0 for 3. For the Trailblazers, the designated hitter Logan Rivers is to the plate. He has flown out to center and reached on an error. He is 0 for 2. Here's Nick Collins with the wind. And first pitch, this one is swung on, fly to center. Running back is Steve Owen, but Steve Owen, you know he's going to get it. Getting near the warning track, but he held up in his tracks rather fast as he immediately flew back and saw where that ball was coming. Rivers is retired for the second time in this game on a fly out to center and is overall 0 for 3. 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th. Zach Taylor will now come to the plate, the left-handed hitting first baseman. He's grounded out and walked, 0 for 1 against Nick Collins. Nick looking for another 1-2-3 inning in this ball game. Starts him out well with a good low fastball, knee high. Strike one. It is 0-1. He's had 2 1-2-3 innings against this Trailblazer team. Here is Nick Collins with the 0-1. It swung on, fouled back. It's 0-2. 0-2 is the count. The one run that has come in this game is not earned upon Nick Collins. It's trying to go 2 games in a row without an earned run coming in after his shutout last week at Greenville 1-0. The 0-2 pitch, he'll try to work him at the feet with that sweeping inside fastball. Getting out of the way of it is Zach Taylor. And the count is 1-2. Collins checks with Johnson as the signal comes from the dugout. And here comes the 1-2. Swung on a miss for strike 3. Letter high fastball. Collins said come and get it, but it's overpowering stuff. That's his 5th strikeout of the game, and it's a 1-2-3. Top half of the 6th. We'll go on to the bottom half. It's still Cherokee 6, Daniel Boone 1 at the radio voice of the Chiefs.
First year in sales, I had turned to God. First year sales, duck commander, $8,000. I said, Miss Kay, we are rolling. She said, we are gonna starve to death. I said, no, we're not gonna starve. We'll be all right. This is Alan, Jason, Willie, and Jeff. They all run the company and their wives. So one of them told me the other day, he said, Dad, you remember when you started out with that $8,000 worth of duck calls? I said, yep. They said, this year we're gonna sell close to 1 million duck calls.
Everybody wants the Butterbug.
It was either dog luck, but I am giving the credit to God Almighty in heaven.
We have 6, 7, and 8 due up. Ethan Bledsoe, followed by Connor Burke and Jesse Fogarty. Ethan Bledsoe is grounded out, and he lined out to left. His last time 0 for 2 against Hunter Adams. First pitch outside and low, ball 1. The big guy batting from the right side, playing at first base. That's Ethan Bledsoe. Here's Hunter Adams with the wind and overhead 1-0. It is swung on, grounded out to the shortstop hole. Cut off at third, though, on the run by Eric Rigsby on a good play. The throw on to first will be in time to retire Ethan Bledsoe on the 5-3, and he is now 0 for 3 in the contest. One down in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It's Connor Burke now coming to the plate. He got it all started in that big 4-run 5th inning, getting things started with a solid single. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. The senior third baseman batting from the right side. Here's your first pitch by Adams. Curveball strike. It's Adams back to his wind and locating that very, very much roundhouse type curve or changeup. It's 0-1 to 1 Connor Burke. Here is your 0-1 pitch. Another one, but this one will break low as he again tried to work him in with a break at the end, but this one broke below the knees. It is 1-1 to Connor Burke. 1-1 is your count as we're under the lights here at the reservation in District 1 AAA Conference play. She's up 6-1. The 1-1 is hit off the inside of the bat on a check swing. It rolls out between first and second. First baseman Zach Taylor is over. Pitcher Hunter Adams comes over to cover the bag. The underhanded toss is there, and they will retire Connor Burke on a check swing that time on a high inside pitch off the end of the bat. It was a big-time slow roller, but good execution by Boone right there with Taylor up with the ball, getting the ball to Adams covering. The put out will go 3-1 at first base. Burke is now 1 for 3. 2 outs in the inning. Here's Jesse Fogarty. He'll take ball 1 from Hunter Adams. Jesse 1 for 2 in this ball game. He had the second hit last inning that ignited things for Cherokee, scoring those 4 runs. He eventually came around to score 1 for 2 with a run scored. The next pitch is a fastball strike. It is 1-1 to the sophomore second baseman batting from the right side. 1-1 is your count. Here's Hunter Adams with the 1-1-2-1 Jesse Fogarty. It is swung on, hit well to center field. In comes the center fielder Goodman. He's going to have to let it bounce in front of him as he moved to his left and tried to get it on a shoestring on the run, but couldn't get there in time. Another solid single in this game for Jesse Fogarty, and he is now 2 for 3 in the contest. For Cherokee, that is hit number 10 against one of the top pitchers for Daniel Boone and Hunter Adams. 2 for 3 again is Fogarty, standing on at first with 2 down. And here is Dylan Johnson. He flew out deep to center field to the warning track. His first time was hit by a pitch, his second, and has scored a run. He's 0 for 1 in the game in the 9 hole. The first pitch chopped down the third base line right into the dugout. They had to get out of the way over there as that ball hit very hard on a chop on the inside pitch there by Adams. Everyone fine, of course, over there, and the count 0-1 to the sophomore catcher, second-year starter full-time, and still just a sophomore playing the catcher spot. 0-1 pitch. This curveball will break outside for ball 1. It is 1-1 to Dylan Johnson. Boone has due up in the 7th inning. 8-9-1. Casey Vicio, Robbie Storen in the top of the lineup. Brody Goodman. Here's the 1-1. This curveball will come in for a strike. It's just a big-time changeup. Very, very slow, freezing the hitter as he broke at the knees in the middle. It's got a very nasty change, that being Adams. And the count is 1-2 to Dylan Johnson. 1-2 from Adams. Fastball swung on, fouled back. It's the old setup. Come at him with a big-time slow change, then throw a strong sinking fastball. But a good fight off there by Dylan Johnson. Excellent situational time hitter batting in that 9 spot of the lineup for head coach Matt Carter. And the count is still 1-2 to Dylan Johnson. Adams from the stretch with Fogarty getting his lead at first. The next pitch is swung on, grounded hard to third. Stopped by Eric Rigsby right at the bag. Long throw across the diamond will be in time as he got it accurately to Zach Taylor for the 5-3 putout. That'll take care of things in the bottom half of the 6th. We go to the 7th. Cherokee 3 outs away from another conference win in their opening year in District 1 AAA, with the score being Cherokee 6, Daniel Boone 1 at the radio voice of the Chiefs.
Popped up, shallow right field. Long run here for Infante and fielder, and Prince can't get there. He was the closest. Did Prince just grab a nacho?
I didn't see it.
I think he took somebody's nacho.
He's chewing on something. That's beautiful.
You know, a little mid-game snack.
That is perfect.
Let's see.
He sure did took one of that man's nachos.
He didn't dip it in the cheese, though.
It might have already had some cheese on it. That's perfect.
That dude is so unsuspecting.
It was once I saw Prince in Milwaukee where he needed some sunglasses, and he was asking the trainer for the glasses, and the trainer was taking so long, he got a pair of glasses from the fan that was in the first row in Milwaukee and wore them the entire inning.
Daniel Boone, Chiefs putting up a 2 spot in the first and a huge 4 spot in the 5th to lead Daniel Boone 6-1, looking for their 3rd consecutive conference win in their opening year in District 1 AAA. And Nick Collins looking for the complete game victory, his 2nd consecutive complete game after pitching the 1-hit shutout against Greenville last week. For Daniel Boone, they're down to their final 3 outs here in the contest. And coming up to the plate for they will be Casey Vicio, the catcher, followed by Robbie Storen, the shortstop. Then the top of the lineup, Brody Goodman, 8-9-1. Vicio came into this ball game in the fourth inning. 0 for 1 against Collins. Or excuse me, it looks like you've got another pinch hitter out there for Vicio. We'll check. First pitch, fastball low. It is 1-0. Checking the Boone roster. It is Casey Vicio. 1-0 is your count to Vicio, the right-handed hitting catcher. Nick Collins. 5 strikeouts in this game. Has walked 2 and hit a batter, but has stranded in this game 5 runners on base. Next pitch outside. It is 2-0 to Casey Vicio. 6-1 to score in the top half of the 7th inning. Nick Collins will check with Johnson. And here comes your next pitch, the 2-0 from Collins to Vicio. Is swung on, fly to center. Over gracefully goes Steve Owen as he'll move over left and make the catch on the routine fly left center. Easy play there. Vicio is retired and is now 0 for 2. 1 out in the 7th. Chiefs 2 outs away. Robbie Storen will now check to the plate. He has popped out twice. And he is going to be pinched hit for, as Storen will be pinched hit for by James Richardson. Here comes the first pitch to the right-handed hitter and pinch hitter for Robbie Storen, that being James Richardson. Collins taking his time before he issues this first pitch, and now here he comes. First pitch is swung on, driven down the right field line, but way foul and out of play. The count is no balls and 1 strike to James Richardson. This Cherokee team didn't win a conference game last year in their final year in District 2 3A and moved over to the ultra-tough District 1, already trying to grab their 4th conference win this year. As the next pitch is inside and low, ball 1, 1-1. But trying to grab their 4th conference win this year in their opening year in District 1. Easy to say. Cherokee, very well, most improved team, I think, at East Tennessee this year is the 1-1 pitch inside and low. It's 2-1. It'll be hard for anyone else to make a case on just how far these guys have come after the rebuilding season last year. But so many came back after the rebuild, and look what happens when you stay with it. Here is Nick Collins with the 2-1 pitch to James Richardson. Swung on, driven to center. In comes Steve Owen, but it's Steve Owen. You know he's going to catch it. He did. Good line drive there by James Richardson, but Owen got the charge. Owen got the break on the ball, and you just knew he was going to get it. Richardson retired in his lone at bat in this ball game. Chiefs are now 1 out away. 2 up, 2 down here in the top half of the 7th. For the 4th go-around, Boone back to the top of the lineup. Here's Brody Goodman, who has struck out twice and flown out 0 for 3 against Nick Collins, looking to start his junior year with a 3-0 record. First pitch fouled straight back. It is 0-1 to Goodman. He can put up no runs in this inning. It would be Collins pitching 19 innings this season, giving up only 1 earned run. The next pitch is swung on, chopped over the mound. In on the run comes the shortstop, that being Ethan Crowder. He's unable, though, to come up with the ball as the ball got behind him as he came in on the run on the bouncer over the mound. You saw him run to the grass behind the mound and overrun the ball. Goodman will reach on the error. 0 for 4 on the day. Boone keeps it alive with Matt Cox now coming to the plate with 2 outs in the inning, and Goodman on at first. Cox has been hit by a pitch, grounded out, and reached on an error. He is 0 for 2. Collins will check up with Johnson, being very, very deliberate this inning here in the 7th inning. So time is granted to 1 Matt Cox. The compact right-handed hitter now will step in with Goodman getting his short lead at first with his team down by 5 and 2 outs in the 7th. Nick Collins will go to the stretch and throw the pitch to Cox. Fastball strike. 0-1 to Matt Cox. 0-1 is the count to he. Collins, again, very deliberate here as we go in the 7th inning with the signals coming into the sophomore catcher Dylan Johnson. And now here comes the 0-1. It is swung on and fouled off of the catcher. So again, Cherokee down to 1 strike away from the 4th conference win of the season. And a win that would put them over, 2 games over the conference, 2 games above 500 within District 1 AAA. After the ball went off of Dylan Johnson, it actually caromed off the umpire, and the home plate umpire is shaken up. You see head coach Matt Carter, assistant Ryan Tassel out there, team trainer Marissa McKee, who's with the baseball team today. She came darting out just to check on the condition of the home plate umpire. It caromed off of Johnson, it looked like, and right off of the home plate umpire afterwards. Just telling everyone, I'm all right. Let's finish this thing out. The infield umpire also out there to check on the condition of his partner. You see Marissa McKee making sure everything is okay when it comes to his reactions. Everyone down there smiling. I think the home plate umpire said, hey, you know, we umpires, we take quite a few shots. First from the fans when it comes to verbal calls, and a few foul balls too. So we know how to tough it out. Veteran umpire is fine. Nice gesture by Dylan Johnson. He came back over to check on him. Stepping back in is Matt Cox. Chiefs 1 strike away, leading by a score of 6-1 here in the top half of the 7th. Cox stepping in with a runner on at first. 2 strike count. Collins 1 strike away. Getting the signal from the dugout is Johnson. It's in, and here's Nick from the stretch. 0-2, swung on, flying out to center. Over goes Steve Owen to right center on the shallow fly. He'll make the catch. That's L3, and this one goes to the Cherokee Chiefs. The Chiefs today have handed Daniel Boone a conference loss. The Chiefs have won their 3rd straight conference game and are now 2 games above 500 in the massively tough District 1 AAA Conference. What a season it's been so far for Cherokee, and you got to think better things are going to come. Final score here on the reservation, Cherokee 6, Daniel Boone 1 at the radio voice of the Chiefs. Okay, we'll go Christian Sells down to Promise in the R-Liner, partner. Hey, thanks, bud.
This message is to continue to be the local hometown funeral home you have asked for. At Christian Sells Funeral Home, we will honor your loved one with a personal service of remembrance because we believe that everyone has a life worth celebrating. For information about any of our services, you may visit us at christiansales.com or call 272-0555. Make the most of your dreams at Civis Bank with personal and business banking and exceptional customer service. At Civis Bank, we are building our strengths and growing to better serve you, investing in technology with anywhere, anytime banking.